Step 1. Understanding why and collecting information. Sam was excited on his way to visit finance wizard Dave. He had learned so much already. He was amazed by how well Dalio, Buffett and Swenson had done over a long time period. He had also done some research on how badly a lot of active fund managers had done. He knew he would be guessing if he tried to pick which one would do well. As agreed, Sam had brought his last few bank statements, a payslip, his work pension plan, and his full attention. Sam was eager to get started. Dave said, "First things first, Sam. You need to understand why you are doing this. It needs to be more of a reason than you just think you should. So close your eyes." Sam felt a bit silly, but Dave insisted. Sam took a moment and shut his eyes. Dave said, "Picture yourself now. Also picture another version of yourself 40 steps away. Now picture this second version getting older, 10, 20, 30, 40 years older. Let's call this version Future You. Now picture present you with 9 bags of money and future you with 16 bags of money, both smiling, confident and happy. Now picture a sneaky look on present you's face as you start running over and picking all your future you's bags of money and returning to the spot you started from. But as you run back, every 10 steps you start dropping half the bags and they disappear as they hit the ground. After 10 steps, you are down to 8 bags, 20 steps, 4 bags, 10 steps, 2 bags. Back to your original spot and you are left with 1 extra bag. Future self looks miserable and disappointed with present self. Present self is not really happier with only having 1 more bag. Sam opened his eyes and felt a bit dejected. He got the message. By spending a little more now, he was taking a lot more away from future Sam. Sam didn't like this feeling, so he quickly imagined taking not 1, but 2 of his bags and started running towards future Sam. But a strange thing happened. The bags kept getting bigger and bigger, and by the time he got to future self, he could barely drag them. Present Sam and future Sam both smiled at each other. It wasn't the money, it was the security, it was the freedom. Sam was happy again and ready to move on. Dave said, "It is simple. Spend more than you earn and you are in for bad times. Spend more now and a future self will have less to spend. A good rule of thumb is to spend 75 to 80% now. Save 20 to 25%. Sam liked rules of thumb. They made things simpler. After all, they weren't going for the perfect result. They were going for something he could actually do. If it was too time-consuming, he wouldn't do it. They were going for the 8 out of 10 solutions. Dave explained that spending is broken down into fixed expenses, such as rent, and is typically half your income, and 1/4 on flexible and irregular payments, such as food and going out. Sam figured that his expenses were higher than that, but Dave said that was okay. It is often the case when you first start out. The saving amount should typically be between 1/5 to 1/4 of your income, which can be spent on reducing debt, investing and saving. Basically spending on future self. Start with debt, as this steals your future. If debt such as credit cards, overdrafts and personal loans are more than 10% of income, it's probably worth getting professional help and support. If you are investing less than 10%, this is also a red flag. Sam was getting nervous. There were a lot of numbers here. Dave could see this and said, "I know it looks intimidating, but what we will do is use a workbook I have prepared and build it up slowly. We can stop and take a break anytime you like, perhaps after each step." This reassured Sam as he was ready to get started. He knew it would cost future Sam if he put it off any longer. Sam opened the workbook Dave had given him and remembered Dave had explained that the workbook was designed to give him a good picture. It was an 8 out of 10 solution. After playing around with the time value of money, Sam realized how important it was to start early. Sam took out his bank statements, payslip, pension details, and his full attention, as he suspected the next 1 to 2 hours would change his life.